Here's a game that I had in the Object 430 on Swamp. Still not really that good of a map. I don't think it's really that fixed from its previous state. It's still better, but I think the south is kind of meaningless from the south spawn. I mean from the north spawn, because you've got this H5 location. It's kind of overpowered in J2, J1, that sort of area. So I think that this side is kind of broken. And also up north, you've got different imbalances here and there, which is less pronounced than South, but I still think Swamp is kind of a bad map. So, normally what I do in medium tanks when I spawn north, is I go up the 8 line, and then hopefully down the 0 line. The problem with this is, if you can't, or if you do win it, getting down south can be kind of a pain because of the TDs that like to camp around G7, H7, in this sort of location. So, I'm going up here with the badge, and this game as a whole isn't like of record damage or anything. The damage is good, but it's more about the end game decisions that were made that I think are pretty important. Stopping to take a shot here at a T62 that I can't see, waste of time. More waste of time. But at the beginning of the game, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Do the same thing with the 54 lightweight. And I start going up into my normal position. I noticed that the batch has taken a couple hits, so I told him to fall back. Well, I thought I did. The T62A is pushed down into this sort of bowl area here, and he's kind of duking it out with the RU. And that's not really good for us, because that's a decent location if you can use it properly. No idea where I hit that guy, but I'll take it. And really, I'm not even sure about where to pen these 907s. I rely mostly on luck when I do it. Batch pops up, easier target, just go for him. And for the next few seconds, it's pretty straightforward. Looking at the map, one thing I noticed at the time is that we had a lot of people in this location here for no real reason. I don't really know what they're doing, particularly this guy, 54E1. The 132, doing his own thing. And our 54 lightweight looks like he's just about to go down because of a rush. Our Batchat's trying to help it, but I'm just getting out of here. Not really anything I can do. I come back up here, and I notice that the Object 907 and the Batchat aren't really here anymore. And there is a T-54E1, but he hasn't been lit for a while. So in just a moment, when our Batchat gets up here, I'm going to push across with him. And really, it's not that hard to get over there. I missed the shot that I took on the move. But I'm trying to get down into this spot here. This spot's really good. Somehow I bounce, but at least he bounces off me every time. And it's really important to count the shells that they fire, auto-loaders. So he's fired 3 times. And he's got 1 more shell. So I'm just going to go here, finish him off. And then I'm going to turn around because I don't know where the 907 and 62 are. Our south flank is completely fallen, so I need to do this quickly. I aim most of the way because I want to make this guy kill him. And I'm going to stop this right here. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but the 907 kind of has a V-shaped hull, like that. And if you shoot kind of in this area, or in this area, in the corners, it's spaced armor, and it's going to bounce. So you kind of need to shoot right here at the lower plate, in this little V shape, or anywhere in the upper plate. Obviously, the upper plate would be a bad choice here. So I shoot in the middle of the lower plate. That's really important, because those things are weird. Try to go for the side of the turret there, but I miss. And I really want to be aggressive here. I want to push this guy down, and I manage it. I auto-aim at him because I don't want to waste any time. I feel like if I manually aimed there, I would have taken too long to aim the shot. And it turned out okay. Now, I have two options here. Either I could push with the Batchat back there down to their base, or I could go back in my own and defend. And I choose to go back to my own and defend. I start loading heat because I think I'm going to have to start dealing with an E5, and E5s these days are pretty tough. I accidentally get shunted by the Yag Tiger there. Kind of poor driving on my part. And I start loading the APCR back. I do switch ammo quite a lot in this thing because it reloads so quickly. I think that goes into the turret, but I was aiming for his side. I have a little bit more of a derp driving moment. And start doing this conqueror. I take the shot there because why not? Ammo is a resource that I'm not going to need in the later parts of this game. So it turns out to be okay that I didn't hit that. Take another hopeful shot there. And I'm hugging this rock because they have 3 artillery. I think I forgot to notice that. The E5 and I want to get this guy out really quickly. So I have to keep my gun clear. And I get a second shot in, and I'm just going to take the hit from this guy. That's not going to happen. And wouldn't you know it, I take the hit and somebody else takes the kill. No biggie though. Our Batchat fell back and is now working with the scout to kill their scout. Pretty straightforward here. And I'm not in arty cover, which is something to note here, so I need to do whatever I'm doing here quickly. And I turn around now because there's a Type 5 heavy, or wait, Type 4 heavy, sorry, Type 4 heavy in the small area. It misses me, and I start loading a heat shell. These things are so easy to kill with heat, even without them, not that hard, but... Get a nice shot into him there, auto-aimed with heat. Right click, left click. And I'm waiting for the Yag Tiger to get down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this Yag Tiger go around this side of the rock, potentially with this WZ. They're going to go around this side. And they're going to turn around that Type 4 heavy. So I start loading APC. And once the Type 4 heavy is turned around and has the Yag Tiger in his sights, I go around and try and flank him. The 1390 just pops up, and I kind of look over there to see if I can get an outline, but I can't. And I need to kill this guy as quickly as I can. Back shot there. 1390 is now at G7, not really a big deal right now. I need to reset the base, and I need to kill the IS-4. Now, I had to do all of that quickly, not only because the Type 4 is kind of a threat to our backside if we're dealing with what was in front of us, the IS-4 and such, but also because we had to do that quickly because there were 3 artillery, like I said, and we weren't covered. So I put a heat shell into the IS-4. I only carry 5 of them. I think that's a pretty good number. And I immediately just go back to the APCR because I'm done dealing with this guy frontally. I start going this way so I can reset, but I don't need to because heat off. And also so I can deal with the IS-4 from a better hull down location that is also somewhat unsafe. So I'm coming this way. I spot the 54 lightweight. The Yag Tiger is behind the IS-4 now, which is really good. The Waffle is behind me. I take the hit and I kill the 54 lightweight, and now I'm worrying about this IS-4. So he looks like he's going to charge me. I don't know if he actually is or not. Kind of don't remember from when I was playing this game. He kills the Waffle, and I'm going to try and use that as an opportunity to get behind him again, although it's going to take too long to get this now. I start loading the heat again, because he's facing the Yag Tiger, and I think that maybe he's not going to be able to do it. So anyway, the Yag Tiger, I think I remember what it means. I think the Yag Tiger gets hit by artillery and the IS-4 in combination. And I'm going behind this guy now. Right. So the IS-4 with the M53 kills him, and I'm coming around the IS-4 now. I put one shot into him, and it was an APCR shell. And I do the same thing again, and I duck into arty cover for about 10 seconds. Although I'm not really worried, because our Batchat is doing an excellent job rounding up the artillery and killing them. And Let's see, let me speed this up. I'm not sure if I even get to the artillery. Okay, so it turns out I don't, and that's the kill. That's the game. So really, me, the Batcha, and this Waffle did 100% of the killing on our team, and turned out to be a really nice game. I think some of the decision making turning around over and over again, killing the tanks that were isolated, namely the mediums up here, then the Type 5, the IS-4, and the lightweight. That's kind of the decision making that needs to go on. When you're outnumbered, you do need to kill tanks as quickly as you can. So that is how we won that game. Thank you. And I got another replay coming up, another 4:30 game. This time it's more about the damage rather than just raw decision making like this one. Thanks for watching. Here's the second game that I had, the 4:30. I believe this was also from... No, this was from today. Earlier today, I think. The last one was from yesterday. And it's on mines. I don't think that mines should really be a high tier map. I think they should do what they did with Kamarn and at least make it like tier 8 and below or tier 5 and below even. On mines, I don't really like going hill. I think that it's kind of risky, and I care too much about my win 8 to go hill, but I do like going to this position. It's really good for supporting people that do choose to go to the hill, and that's the second best thing you can do. It's also nice to get shots into idiots like this guy, who not only decide to go hill, but also go up the wrong side. So now we're just going to get some cheap shots on these idiots. Everybody's an idiot. Fairly lucky there. CDC decides to throw his life away. Shoot the T-34, and somehow he snipes me there on the move, but hey, RNG. Fair malice. Try and take another shot at the E5, but 430 gun is not the best for snapshotting. 140 and T62 are far better. So we've got the usual tank destroyers camping up here at A4, that hill. We've got one T-34 in the island, which is a good spot, but not at this point in time. And we got a few people over here. Now this Type is in a really good spot. I do like going here. It affords nice shots on people like these Tiger 2s. So now that everything is cleared, it's a good time to get on the hill, because the hill is the best part of this map. I just don't like going there early. They do have one artillery, and it's a big one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this rock, the normal spot where people like to shoot down, but I'm not going to move, even though Tiger 2s may start looking at me. I gotta be more afraid of the artillery than the Tiger 2s. So I take care of that one. And I'm going to speed it up here. I waste a little bit of time shooting at this guy. I hit him once or twice, but it takes a while. Even though it's in double time, you can kind of get an appreciation of the DPM of the 430. Back in normal time, trying to get a shot at this Lorraine, but gun bouncing all over the place, not really going to happen. So our TDs are finally stopping camping. They've got an M4A1 French thing on the island. Not going to try and pronounce that. I fluff a shot at the AMX-30 and I'm going to start chasing him. Now what I'm ideally trying to do is track him, because what that will let me do is shoot him when he can't shoot me. I get a really lucky shot there, and my artillery fires. Now I know that's mine. I track him again, and I'm going to start shooting him in the back, and see how he can't really shoot me. Rather than keep chasing him, I'm just going to turn around and stay already safe for the moment. And he looks like he's going to try and jump off the hill, but we'll see. If he's not going to, I'll try and get another damaging shot. Which I do, and he does jump off the hill as the 704 gets up there. This 704 actually plays a really good game. He does all the things he needs to do, and he does just a stellar job. So now what I'm going to do, I know that there's really nobody, I don't know what you call it, like threat-worthy. Like, there aren't any threats on the island. So what I'm going to do is start working on these TDs. I put one shot, aimed somewhat carefully, into the FV, and I was pretty convinced that I was not spotted. Still looking this way, so not going to peek out completely. Just trying to spot him a little. He fires, but he's back in cover by the time I can take a shot. Still cautious of the RHM over there. Our own Tiger 2s are now pushing around, but I don't think they'll really be able to do much. And I see that this Lorraine is getting somewhat close, so I'm just going to go forward, pick up the kill. And I don't get shot because I know that I need to get out of there quick if I want to keep my health. I put a shot into the 704, and that does actually track him. But this cheeky RHM, I guess, has binos or optics or something, and he spots me and shoots me once. I still have more than half of my HP left, which is a really good resource to have at the endgame scenario like this. Still have to be somewhat careful of the artillery. And we still have a T-95 camping back here. Now, I don't think I noticed this when I was playing this game, but really, what are you doing back there? You need to be moving up. Our 268 puts in a nice shot into the 1357, and I pick up the kill. That's pretty important because what that does is it allows me undetected access to J1, J2, K1, K2. And in turn, that will give me really nice shots on AMX-30 and the T-125. The 704 picks up a kill there. And really, what the 704 is doing is not only is he shooting people, but he's also keeping people lit. And when he moves forward, proxy lit for all of the rest of us. I ping the map for the 704 to spot the T-125, which he does. And I can't really get a shot on him from there, so I'm just going to go ahead right now and move up. I start loading an HE shell because the only person I'm going to find down here is the RHM. Already died a while ago. I'm not sure by whom, but RHM puts a good shot into me. And one thing that I do have a habit of doing is loading APCR right after an HE shell. Now, that was actually a mistake in this situation because the RHM, I high rolled with my HE 454, but he was still too high of a roll for my APCR. Luckily, I high rolled, so it didn't matter, but it was kind of a bad call. I should have kept loading HE. So, I'm now a one-shot for only the T-95. This is slightly boring, so I'll speed it up. I'm just looking for the 30 and the E5. I do see the AMX-30, but I don't have a shot. I could only see him for a fraction of a second. And we find the T-95. This guy is, he's not AFK, but he doesn't acknowledge that I'm here. So I'm just going to shoot him a couple times. And here's the E5. I'm just going to go back up a little bit. I track him with my first shot. I load APCR. I inevitably bounce, and I start loading a heat shell. I pen him with the heat shell, my first that I fired this game. Go up for a second shot, but doesn't even hit. And that's the game. So I think the important parts of this game were not going to the hill, farming off the idiots that did, and staying in this location until it was safe to go on the hill. Then I used the hill to shoot down at the people over here, again picking off isolated targets. Then once I was done using the hill, and a 704 had taken my place to spot and just make sure the hill was uncontested, and the AMX-30 dropped off, I went over this way to the island and started shooting over at what I could. And after I realizing that there really wasn't anything, pushed up, killed the isolated RHM, killed the T-95. This building here that you can see right there was keeping me covered from the T-125. The MX-30 by this time was gone, and the T-95 eventually killed him. And at that point, the game was pretty much won. 268 came in, took the kill, and that was GG. I've got the post-game results from this game in a separate sort of quick video. I don't have the results from the first game that I showed, though. I didn't really think much of the game until kind of looked at it. In that game, I think I made pretty good decisions, and I think in this one, it was less about the decision making and more about just how much damage I did. So, I don't have a damage panel. I don't run mods for 9.12 yet, just because I'm lazy. And I think when I played this game, I thought, wow, that was a good game. I think I did about 5k damage, maybe. Yeah, that was a good one. Turns out I did a little bit more than that. Check out the endgame results.